As always, fuck it. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. All right. Today I'm welcomed by TJ Rainman.
What's happening?
Starting a little late because I had some stuff to deal with, but we got it. We got a good show for you guys today. A lot of news to talk about. TJ, how is your April 1st going?
Dude, it's been
April
a shit
Fools,
show.
I don't care.
Yeah,
No,
it's been a bit of a shit show. I woke up, had a little bit of time before we started the stream, looked out the door, lightly sprinkling, figured, hey, I'll take the dog out for a quick walk. I can deal with a little bit of sprinkling. About 5 minutes in, it's just torrential downpour on us. We have to circle back. I'm drenched. It's like, yeah.
you gonna make another one of those Facebook videos?
Huh?
You gonna make another Facebook video showing me the streams?
Of it flooding? Dude, I hope this town doesn't flood again. That was absolutely insane.
That looked crazy. That was
It was
pretty
the
crazy
worst.
when you were showing me.
Yeah, it was the worst we've had since 1964. So, yeah. Went viral with that. Like 70,000 views. Let's go.
Hey, guess what I can do now that I'm in the Rumble Creator Program? There's this little button I have up here, and I could switch the content to Rumble Premium anytime I want.
Whoa. Look at you go.
Look at me go. So when we get into those spicy stories that I think are I can't say things on YouTube, but maybe we'll do that. We'll switch over to the Rumble Premium. I don't think I have any stories like that today, but for future reference.
Yeah. It's good to have the ability to do so.
Definitely. So, the only unfortunate thing is for any of you fine viewers that don't have Rumble Premium, won't be able to see my beautiful face during content like that. But it's okay. We'll figure it out. I'm sure a lot of you do have Rumble Premium, considering a lot of you come from the Timcast Discord. But let's get into the news today, shall we? Where is... I don't see the window I'm trying to pull up. I have too many windows up or something. Okay, wait. This one? It was all mixed in there. It's at the first of my list on my bar up top, but it was in the middle of the list when I was selecting. Okay. Here we go.
There we go.
So we talked about this a little bit yesterday. House to vote on SAVE Act amid voter eligibility debate. The U.S. House of Representatives is scheduled to vote on the SAVE Act this week. The bill aims to ensure that only American citizens vote in federal elections by requiring proof of citizenship, such as birth certificate. Critics argue that the SAVE Act could disproportionately affect married women who have changed their last names, as their birth certificates may not match their legal names. Proponents of the bill maintain that it is necessary to prevent non-citizen voting, while opponents claim it could create unnecessary barriers to vote for certain groups. I think this is just retarded. You can go and update your documents. There's nothing stopping you from updating your birth certificate when you get married. So
I
like
don't think. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't know how this, like, Democrats like to make up bullshit when it comes to shooting down bills, but this seems like something straight out of someone's ass.
Yeah, it seems like they like obviously there would be some sort of process and carve out for this particular exception. Like it's not like, oh, we're going to take all this time to make sure that this act is put into place, but we're just going to completely forget about the proper ways to actually get your documentation updated so that you can register. Like everything's going to be accounted for as long as you're following the legal process to do it. Like
Which I don't know how much this is going to stop people illegally voting, because when it comes to illegals voting, it's not really common that they do vote. It's probably more common in places like California where it's easier to get IDs and stuff like that, and they don't check for voter ID at elections. But the biggest issue is when it comes to the census, because they get counted on the census, and then states like California get way more representatives than they're supposed to. Other places as well that have too many illegals. So it really affects the census overall. So we need to crack down on that more than we need to crack, like, voter ID. Obviously, we need voter ID, but them getting counted on the census is, I think, the bigger issue.
absolutely. And does the Save Act include aspects of the
I
census
I would
within it?
hope so. I know Donald Trump is working towards getting the citizenship question on the
Right.
census, which that should be a thing. It's crazy to me that when he was president, when they did the census, they didn't let him put it on there. It's ridiculous, but we know why. We know why, because they get political power from having it on there.
Exactly.
But how is everyone doing today? Is the live chat working today? I don't think it is. So someone type in the live chat. I need to figure out if it's working today, because I could see Andrew Jacobs said FTP. Which Andrew Jacobs, is that what I think it is? Are you saying F certain person we watch, or is that something else? I'm confused.
File file transfer protocol. It's a computer science thing.
Is it?
Yeah. It's the way you transfer files from one person to another. It's file
Oh,
transfer protocol.
okay. I didn't know that. Is that actually what that is? Or
I mean, it's what it is, but I doubt it's what he actually means.
okay, I was gonna say I don't know if that's how he's meaning it, but all right. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a fine Tuesday. Let's get into some other news, because there's not a whole lot to add to that one. That one was just kind of like an update to yesterday.
Yeah, it's just good to see that they're still moving forward with it.
Right, and then we do have an update about the Tesla vandalism, of course, because there's daily updates for that now. Which,
Why are you calling
by
it
the way,
vandalism? Why are you
uh,
buying into the left's framing of it?
terrorism. Yeah, well, some of well, see that's the hard part, right? Some of it's actual protesting, some of it's actual vandalism, and then some of it's just straight up terrorism. Uh, so it
Here's a
just kind of
question.
depends on the topic we're talking about. Oh no, see, Andrew Jacobs clarified with a Rumble rant. It was what I thought it was. Thank you very
Wow,
much, Andrew Jacobs.
someone's got some hate.
It's because Andrew Jacobs won't read his Rumble rants or his super chats like I do. I read your super chats, Andrew Jacobs.
Oh.
I will always read every super chat I ever get. All right, I love my viewers. I
Be
love
careful with
everyone
that,
checking me out.
Mr. Free Speech Absolutist.
Mr. Free Speech Absolutist. You want to catch how free speech I am? Just go check out last night's
Hey.
nightcap. Uh, were you there for that, TJ?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, Hunter
Anyway,
Jackson, homie, shaving his beard tonight.
yeah, go check out Outworld Live tonight, guys. Someone donated $100 and got me to say the gamer word, and then also they got in that package. Melted Mind is going to shave his entire neck beard. So
His entire neck. You're such a dick. Should be good fun though.
yeah, no, go check it out. And then there's gonna be a roasting section part 2. I'm gonna see if I can get some stuff better prepared for that. I was not prepared last night. I got a few in, but they were kind of off the cuff. They weren't. I was not prepared at all.
Was my roast video acceptable? Like I was
Your
the
roast
only
video was
video
pretty
actually.
solid. Yeah, your roast video was definitely pretty solid. I liked it.
So jumping back to the whole Tesla thing real quick.
But yeah, here, let me pull
Um,
that up.
when you say that like some of it's terrorism, some of it's vandalism, I am almost wanting to consider like the vandalism by carving swastikas and stuff in the side of Teslas. I'm wanting to kind of consider that like terrorism by association, because these people are throwing the Molotov cocktails into the Tesla dealerships, and they're doing so with the goal of pushing forward their political agenda or whatever, which is definitionally terrorism, right? And then these other people are carving into the side, keying Teslas with the same sort of goal. And so it's almost like Rico or something. It's almost like they're all associated with the same like political movement, political goal. They're just doing their acts of violence or vandalism in different ways. But I don't know. Does that make sense? Like,
That's
should they
fair.
all be grouped together?
Yeah, okay. I'll argue with you on that. After, of course, we have a word from our ad right here.
Okay, let's
1775 coffee. Right after that, we'll argue that point.
deal.
So, weak coffee is for the weak, and at Rumble, weak has never been a part of the mission. No fillers, no fraud, and no settling for mediocrity. Just like 1775 coffee, it's single origin, small farm, hand picked, specialty grade coffee that stands for quality, free speech, and calling out BS when it matters. Forget stale, mass-produced beans, roasted just enough to hide the flaws. Dark roast hits like a Trump tariff. Medium roast keeps it bold without the bitterness. And Vitality Mushroom Blend, real energy and lasting focus. No synthetic garbage. For K-Cup pods, whole bean, or fresh ground coffee, go to 1775coffee.com. Use code STUDIO for 15% off and start your morning with coffee that stands for something. Oh, and every dollar spent enters you to win a Cybertruck and 30K cash. Imagine that, guys. You're just trying to buy your morning coffee. You end up with a Cybertruck and 30K in cash. That'd be pretty solid. But
You
to
got
so
it.
to your point, I don't like grouping them as terrorist because it's not terrorism. It's still vandalism, even though they are a part of the same group that leads up to people going into these terrorist acts. I wouldn't. I don't want to go as far to say that it is terrorism because that's just not the precedent I think we should be setting. It
Sure.
is egregious and it is wholly unnecessary, but I think we should reserve the terrorism charges for those that actually deserve it and
But
not
so
for like political vandalism. Because like where's the line between
that's
terrorism and vandalism, right? Just because it's
um,
political, like you can vandalize something for political reasons. It doesn't make it terrorism. You know what I mean?
yeah, but and I think that the only reason that I'm wanting to like group these two together is because there are extreme acts of violence that is a part of the same campaign. You know what I mean? Like if it was just the vandalism, then I would be less inclined to group them or whatever. But since they have the same message, the same goal, it's just their diversity of tactics. I just I don't know. Like I'm not like fully set on grouping them together. It's
I mean,
just
I get where you're coming from, but what would be an example of that happening in the past, where like people are committing terrorism, and then there's other people committing lesser acts, but within the same vein, and they get charged together? I don't know. Like, I guess. Wait, let's see what sick of shitty government said. He said, for J6, they persecuted us to the nines. It's not a stretch to say a act of violence or intimidation in pursuit of political goals by the left is terrorism. Prosecute these commies to the fullest extent. I mean, I agree. Prosecute them to the fullest extent that we can. I just don't know if I'd go as far to say that putting a swastika in someone's car is terrorism. That's definitely vandalism, criminal vandalism. Throw the book at them, but I think we should reserve the terrorism charges for those that are firebombing and literally shooting up Tesla dealerships. So, like, while I agree that it's heinous, I don't agree that we should go as far to say that it's terrorism.
yeah,
Um,
and I think that we would all benefit by figuring out what that actual line is. Like what but then if you say that, okay, well, you can do this, this, and this and it not be terrorism, but as soon as you do this other action it is terrorism, we're almost greenlighting people to go and perform the terroristic vandalism, as I'll phrase it. You're almost greenlighting them to go do it because they know that the consequence will be lesser and they're still pushing their political goal through this. I don't
so to
know.
play devil's advocate on the opposite end of how I view things, another way to look at this would be, uh this is so widespread and this is so common now, it's becoming like a trend almost to go and do this to Teslas. The devil's advocate would say that in order to crack down on this, you need to go hard on all of it, and you can't, basically you have to say all of it's terrorism in order to stop it.
Sure.
Which I do see that perspective where it's like it's getting to the point where there's so many people doing it, it doesn't seem to be stopping. You need to crack down hard on it in order to stop it. But I don't know if the boot needs to come down that hard on some of these people, like the people firebombing and shooting up places. Yes, terrorism, 20 plus years, whatever you got to give them. I'm all for that. For the vandalism stuff, um, hefty fines, maybe jail time, depending on how egregious it is. But I think the punishment should fit the crime.
Yeah.
Is my view.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where I morally do actually come down. I'm just, you know,
Yeah, well, like
with
like
things being as extreme as they are, as crazy as they are, I'm kind of thought experimenting.
no, I fully understand your point of view on it,
But
because
I do
I'm
agree.
absolutely sick of this too. Like I'm sick of having to bring it up every day. It's ridiculous that this has become a trend. It, I mean, we saw that video. What was it, yesterday? Where that guy? Yeah, it was yesterday. That guy put a Nazi symbol on some dude's car, and he's like, "This is a hate crime." And it's like, yeah, dude, because you don't know who's driving the car. It could be a Jewish guy. You just put a swastika on a Jewish guy's car.
Right.
Like it's just stupid. It doesn't affect Elon Musk directly. The cars are already sold. It's not really affecting him, and they keep pointing to the stock market, or his stocks are going down. And it's like you look at the stocks all over the stock market, and a lot of them are down. So it's like,
Yeah.
is it really because of the drama going on? I mean,
See,
I don't know.
that's always such a gross manipulation of the narrative that I see all the time. It's like the entire stock market is like trending downward, and the left will always just be like, "Oh, look at Tesla failing. Oh, look at look at truth like dropping or whatever," and they just try and say that their actions are causing their stocks to plummet when really it's just the entire market. I just
Yeah.
hate manipulation like that.
Let me read this comment by Sick of Shitty Government. You had another one. Fair enough, Tyler. The line is violence for us, I guess. But no terror charges come from the George Floyd riots, did they? I actually think you're wrong on that. I think there were some people that were charged with terrorism, but there weren't enough. There should have been way more charges.
Pull it up, Jamie.
Hold up, Jamie. I don't even know if we have Jamie in the studio today.
I know.
Um, I need our Jamie on here for a show one of these days.
Yeah.
If he's willing to come on camera, that is. But no. Into the
He's got a
story.
face for radio.
So the DOJ is now charging the Tesla firebomber. They're seeking 20 years.
Good.
Attorney General Pam Bondi has announced that the Department of Justice has filed federal charges against Cooper Frederick for allegedly firebombing a Tesla dealership in Loveland, Colorado. The DOJ is seeking a 20-year prison sentence for Frederick. The incident is being treated as an act of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, with Bondi emphasizing that there will be no plea deals and justice will be pursued rigorously. And then there's a clip of her. I don't think we really need to play the clip. This is pretty straightforward. Uh, but yeah, no, I've seen the videos and clips of this guy, like when he firebombed the place, and I don't know if this is the same guy, but there was someone that firebombed a Tesla dealership as well as shot it up. So I don't know if this is the same person or if this is different. But I mean, how do you feel about it? Do you think 20 years is enough? Is it too much for like firebombing a dealership?
I
Because if anything, I feel like that's a little light.
really,
Like maybe 30 years.
you,
This
you
guy,
know,
if he's 24, he can come out when he's fucking 50, dude.
I don't know. I think that 20 years is a long time, and you will become a completely different person in 20 years. It possibly could. I don't know. I'm not the one to dictate the amount of time. As long as
No, no,
it's as
I'm not saying you are, but I'm asking
long
for
as it's
your
not like 3 years or something. As long as it's like
what's your genuine opinion? You're in the stand, they look to you and they're like, all right, how many years is he getting? The number you say is the number that happens. How many
I,
years are you giving him?
I think 20 years is sufficient.
You think 20 years is good enough?
Yeah, I mean
I
that's
think
that's like a quarter of someone's life.
yeah,
You know?
I'm okay with 20 years. I think I guess I did say 30, but I think 20 years is good. I would say 30 if someone got hurt though. If someone got hurt, I would have said 30 or 40.
Whew. Yeah.
Like let's say he shoved someone and they
Then
fell
you
and
have
broke their arm. He,
attempted murder included in that
no,
for
no,
sure.
I'm not saying like he firebombed someone. Like let's say he's running into the dealership, he shoves someone, breaks their arm, and when they fall, add on another like 10 years to that,
Per- Perhaps. Yeah.
perhaps. I'm just spitballing here.
I mean,
It's
fact of the matter, like, here's my question: is the sentence that this man is getting enough of a deterrent to stop other people from doing the same crimes?
20 with
That's the big question.
sick of shitty government says 20 with possible parole at 10 years and good time.
Sick
Um,
city government. Is that your recommendation, or is
I,
that what this sentence actually is?
I think that's what he's hoping for.
Gotcha.
Which I think is fair. If after 10 years he seems like he's fucking changed a little bit, maybe put him on parole, put him out on parole.
I say without the possibility of parole. I think that, like, that's the level of throwing the book at someone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And this person
Well,
deserves to have the book thrown at them.
they definitely we need to start throwing the book at some of these people because they are just not stopping. They're not letting up.
Yeah. So do you think that this sentencing that they're pushing for is enough of a deterrent to stop the behavior?
I
From,
honestly,
from
honestly, I don't think so.
what? Okay. So what do you think would be enough of a deterrent to get people to
I
stop?
I think you need to find people, like find them with like massive tickets, massive fines, and then as well as jail time because it's not enough. Because like you think about someone who's like 18, 20, just getting into politics, going out and doing this crap. That when they think about 20 years, they don't like when I think about 20 years, it doesn't like it. If I was going to do something for a political agenda, 20 years doesn't sound like that much. That's why I was like 30. Give them 30
Right.
cuz like you want them to know, you want people to see that and be like, "Damn, I do this, I'm getting 30 years."
Right.
Like there goes my life kind of thing. Like you want them to feel like their life is ruined if they do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all psychology at that point, right? Like, but I also wonder if you could if this guy could be sentenced to 50 years, if that would deter people because these people literally think that they're fighting Hitler. You
Well,
know what I
yes,
mean?
that's
They
kind of my
think that they're
point, right?
saving the world.
Yeah, no, if you're fighting for like a political agenda that you really believe in, I don't see 20 years as a big enough deterrent. That's why I say fines. You gotta fine them however you can. Maybe make them pay for whatever they can, assuming they have some assets you can seize. Like this guy that's getting 20 years for firebombing a Tesla dealership. Take everything that man owns. He take everything he owns and lock away the key for 20 years. And then maybe that'll be enough of a deterrent. You got to like, it's not enough to put these people behind prison. You need to take their stuff away.
Huh. I yeah, I don't know exactly how I feel about, like, confiscation of
Well, like if you cause
property,
like
but
hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage, I think your stuff should be seized.
well, yeah, I mean, like, you should have to pay that back.
Yeah. Well, but like
And
if you're in jail for the next 20 years, you can't pay it back. So like they would have to seize your car, they would seize your house.
right, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but maybe not like family heirlooms. Don't take their family heirlooms, but it's
Right.
what sounds fair. We are trying to pull people out of a cult. I don't know if being prosecuted for crimes is a deterrent to cultists. We have to find a way to break them free from the mind virus. Absolutely, and that's one of the big questions of our time right now is how do we do that?
Yep.
I did want to talk about because I have them in the thumbnail. Where is it? Oh, here it is. All right, shifting gears a little bit. Not really. Still talking about Pam Bondi. So how do you feel about Luigi Mangione? Do you think he did it?
Um, God, I can't take a super hard stance on that. Like, when it was first coming out, I did watch Tim's video where he's like, "This is not the same guy,"
Yeah,
and so that was, like, initially planted in my psyche. So, like, there is the question of, okay, is this really the guy? And so
I think it's him.
that kind of lingers there. But I don't know.
I
Like,
still think it's him. I think it's Luigi.
do you? Well, what do you think
I do.
about, like, the whole orgy of evidence kind of concept? The fact that he just had his weapon, his manifesto, his everything at the.
I think he wanted to get caught.
You think so?
I think he did it for publicity. Yeah, I think he had a story he wanted to tell, and when the story wasn't like, because like when it first happened, the narrative wasn't exactly what he wanted it to be. So then he let himself get caught, and he set the narrative.
Huh. That's an interesting theory.
So the reason I bring up Luigi Mangione is because this most recent story looks like Attorney General Pam Bondi is seeking the death penalty in his case.
Hmm.
How do you feel about that?
So this kind of goes back to the whole argument of, do you trust the government to be 100 like to be 100% certain and sentence someone to death? Like, if this guy didn't actually do it the way that I feel, I would assume a decent amount of people don't actually believe that this is him and that he's a patsy or something like that. Um, do we trust that it was actually him and that we aren't putting an innocent man to death? That's always the fear with the death penalty.
Well, Melted said he wanted to be caught as soon as he saw he was a hero to the left. So as soon as he saw, because there are a lot of people on the left, giving him support. Bill Burr, a lot of political figures giving this man support. A lot of them saying that he should be pardoned. Even it's just
That's crazy.
absolutely insane. Yeah, absolutely insane stuff. Like, no matter how you feel about if he was justified or not, he killed a guy. You can't make that okay. There's
Right.
no if you give this guy a pardon, what does that tell all the other people looking to go kill CEOs that they feel wronged them in some way?
Right.
Like, that would be terrible for society.
So
And it's
if when he pulled the trigger and murdered that man, if there was a crowd of people that like tackled him and held him down until the police came and arrested him and it all was caught on tape, then I would be open to the concept of the death penalty. But the fact that they
yeah. How do you feel about the death penalty in general? Like, your criteria has to be like 100% without a shadow of a doubt. This guy did this heinous crime, then give him the death
yeah,
penalty.
yeah, you can't sentence someone to death with a preponderance of evidence or whatever. Like, it has to be 100% certainty that this man committed this crime, and there's 100%
That's,
certainty, or else I
that's
don't think
fair. That's fair. Yeah, I think because there is a bit of doubt in this case, like we don't know 100% if he's a patsy or not. I would say, yeah, just give him life. Give him life in prison. If somehow we get camera footage one day of like his face, like the guy fires at the CEO, turns around, you get his full face on camera. Like, if we get that at some point, then I'd be like, all right, maybe death penalty just to show everyone like
or
this
yeah, I
shit's
mean,
going okay.
or if there's camera footage from all of these different
Right. Like,
companies along the way, and you just follow his exact path, and you
I mean,
can
there could be in the
tunnels.
case, the trial's still ongoing. They could
So
have
he
something like
pled
that.
not guilty though, didn't he?
I believe he did.
Right, and so that's another, like, if he pled guilty, then maybe
Well,
then,
he probably pled not guilty though, because he's a hero to the left. He's like, guys, I'm not guilty of anything. You loved what I did.
I mean, sure,
You
that could be the
know what I mean?
possibility. Yeah, like, this isn't a crime, is his argument of not
It's
guilty.
not a crime. You guys loved what I did.
But yeah,
Um,
like, maybe if he were to have pled guilty, I'd be more open to the death penalty or something like that. But there's there's not 100% certainty, and so life in prison is might as well be the death penalty, but it's still not ending someone's
yeah,
life
I
unjustly.
I would say I'm against the death penalty in this case, just because there is that bit of doubt that it could be someone else. But I don't know. Let us know what you guys think in the comments, live chat, whatever. If you guys got thoughts to share on that, I'm more than happy to read them. But we'll move to the next story. Let's see. I wanted to talk about this one because this one's interesting. Where is it? This one. Okay. Um, what, your dog, or is that
No,
your
my
cat?
cat. This is my
Your
cat.
cat.
I was just trying to get her in frame, but it doesn't work.
Oh, yeah. There's a black blob behind me in some of my videos. That's my sister's dog. She likes to sleep in here when she's at work.
Awesome. Dogs are allowed on the bed, right?
Of course. It's only her and my other dog, Boudreaux, that get special treatment. I
Really,
have
you
five
have like
dogs.
a
Okay?
caste system. You have a
Oh yeah, no, I have a tier system. Her name's Raven. She gets on the bed. Boudreaux is my favorite though. He gets everything.
gotcha.
He gets half my French fries when I get fast food. I mean,
Perfect. Yeah, pizza crust. My dog gets piece of crust.
Yeah. Well, every time I come in, he sees that brown bag of food from wherever. He already knows he's getting the fry tax.
Awesome. Yep.
It's mandatory. He gets a 10% fry tax. I can't enter the door and not give him some.
I
Um,
respect it.
but anyway, so speaking of French fries, let's talk about McDonald's and this father from Georgia.
Wow.
So,
What a
have you seen this story?
I have not.
Or did you like that transition? That was a good
Yeah,
one.
that was well played.
Okay. So, Georgia father arrested for leaving his kids at McDonald's. What do you think of this? A 24-year-old man, from Augusta, Georgia, was arrested for leaving his children, aged 1, 6, and 10 years old, unattended at a McDonald's while he attended a nearby job interview. The incident has sparked a debate over parenting practices and child safety. Opinions vary, with some defending the father's actions as necessary due to his circumstances, while others criticize the decision to leave such young children alone in a public place. The way I will go about the story is that we don't have the full reasoning for why he did this, but to make the assumption, I would say the mother's not in the picture. He probably didn't have family to leave the kids with. I don't know if he has friends. There's other people he could have possibly left them with, but let's say he doesn't have anyone. Let's say he's a single father doing all this on his own. He's trying to get a job to support them, right? I think this is perfectly fine. I think if a McDonald's is a public place,
Oh
I'm assuming he got the kids food, made sure they were good, and then he's going to go across the street to a job interview for like 30 minutes. I think that's fine.
man,
The
how
10-year-old,
old was the oldest kid?
the oldest is 10 years old. I think at 10 years old, you can watch your little siblings for 30 minutes.
I feel like that's a little bit young. I don't necessarily support it. I think that it sucks that he was put in a position where he felt he had to make this decision. But yeah, I'd say like I don't know. I'd say maybe 14 is like the youngest that, but that's even just like if I have to run to the grocery store and the oldest has to watch the little ones, a quick 20-minute trip to the grocery store, like I don't know, 12, 14. I don't know.
So,
That,
you,
that
so
just,
you think 10's too young?
I mean, in a public place like that, in a place where like weird people go to McDonald's, it's
What if it's a McDonald's with a play place?
that's even weirder. Those don't exist anymore.
Some of
Oh,
them, no, there are a couple. I have a couple near me.
okay, fair.
Most of them are gone. Most of them they've gotten rid of.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I'm personally on the side of the father in this story. I think 10 is perfectly fine. We don't know how mature the 10-year-old is. I'm assuming if he was, I'm assuming the father felt like he was responsible enough to watch the kids, right?
yeah.
But either way, no matter how you look at this, I don't think the guy should be arrested. I think he should have I think the cops should have pulled him aside and be like, "Hey, bro, that's not cool. Find someone to watch him."
Yeah, I think a CPS wellness check or something like that would have
Yeah,
been.
maybe CPS gets involved just to check, make sure everything's good.
Yeah, I don't
But
think being
but like I
arrested.
said, if it's just a single father that has no one supporting him and he's just trying to get a job to support his kids, I mean, I'm not totally against that. The only
But like,
question I would have is like, who's gonna watch the kids when he gets to the job?
yeah, that's also a question that I was having as well. But I think that you are you are basically requiring the McDonald's employees to be actual babysitters because they are the adults in the room,
Yep.
and I don't think that's acceptable. I would say that if this father did need to kind of do this, you run to McDonald's, you get the food, you bring it home, and you let the kids, like you let the oldest watch the kids in the safety of your own home. You say, hey, if anybody knocks on that door, you do not answer it. You keep all
Yeah.
doors and windows locked. I will be the only person to come back through, and then you go do the interview while trusting the kids in the safety and comfort of their home. I don't think the public place is the correct way to go about it.
Yeah. So the consensus on Twitter right now is that 10-year-old the father was in the right is the consensus on Twitter.
And yeah, I'm gonna have to, slightly disagree. 10 years old, I think, is just a little too young.
Well, what's called? So the father is 24. So he had these. Damn. Wait a minute, dude. That means he had a 10-year-old at fucking 14,
Yep.
or he had a kid at 14. No, I'm on the side of the father, man. Like this guy seems like he's going through a lot.
Well, so I don't. I'll say that I'm on his side when it comes to being
Getting
arrested.
arrested.
I don't think he
Yeah.
should have been arrested, but I also don't think that his actions were okay.
Yeah. Let me read some of the chat. Melted Mind said, "Can we take bets on how late Joey will be today?" No, we can't. Melted. It's his birthday. He could be late to his show if he wants to be.
It's his
Mel-
birthday. He'll be late if he wants to.
yeah,
If he
it'll be.
wants
It's his.
to.
um, Melted said, "Fuck CPS." Yeah, overall, CPS messes up a lot, but there are circumstances where they do good. And you know, it's one of those like necessary evils. Like sometimes they fuck up, but there's cases where they really do need to save those kids from their own parents. So it's situational. CPS does fuck up a lot though. Um, Secretary of Government said 10 would be fine in a community where where everyone knows everyone, but still taboo. Usually 12 years old for siblings to watch other siblings. Where I live, my 11, does that say?
11-year-old.
I think that's 11-year-old runs around all over and goes and grabs groceries. Um, I mean, yeah, like that's what I was saying. Like it's definitely situational. It depends on who this guy has in his life. If he had a friend or a family member he could have dropped them off with, definitely should have done that instead.
I
But
mean,
I would like to know more about the information. But no matter how you cut it, the guy shouldn't be arrested. He needs to be
and
with his kids.
yeah, and also like I think that the responsible thing to do would be to explain what's going on with McDonald's and be like, look, this kid watches these kids all the time while I'm
Right.
doing this or that or whatever. Like they're gonna stay out in the play place area, and they'll be responsible. I'll be back here real quick, and if you get the green light from the McDonald's employees that like they're okay with that and they're accepting the kind of adult responsibility, like they'll be the ones to call 911 if anything happens to that 1 year old. Like if you had them on board, then maybe it would be a little more acceptable.
Yeah.
But to just drop these kids off and like, hey, go have fun. Like look out for your 1 year old brother. Like I don't know. That's it's kind of outrageous. I almost feel like it's disrespectful of him to put that level of responsibility on the McDonald's.
No, and then to address Melted Mind, he said, "I've seen Child Protective Services walk into a house with crap on the walls, literal crap on the walls, and just tell them to clean it." I don't know if that's an issue with CPS though. I think that's just a person issue. Like as a human being, you walk into a house with children, and a house is to that extent, that's on you. That's on you to deal with that. Like you can't just be like, oh, just clean it, just because you don't want to deal with the paperwork or you don't want to deal with the headache of actually getting involved. When kids rubbing ish on the walls is a known sign of S abuse. Yeah, no, it is. But that's what I mean. Like, I don't know if that's a child protective services issue or if that's just a people issue. People just don't like they just don't want to get involved. I guess. Which
Well, I
that
think
you're in the wrong career if you don't want to get involved in people's lives. You work for CPS. You're getting involved in their goddamn lives. That's
right.
how it works.
I almost feel like he's saying that like CPS doesn't do enough. Like if they'll walk in and see signs of something that could
I
be
think that's a point he's getting at is they don't
something
do
that
enough and then they fuck up in other areas. No, they definitely need to work on that, man. There's a lot of things that slip under their nose, and then there's things that they go after. It's like government, man. It's like what California does. They go after the easy people, the
low
people that are
hanging fruit, right?
they go after the low hanging fruit, and then when it comes to the things that aren't as obvious or like things that are way more serious, they don't go after it. They don't want to deal with it. No, CPS knows kids rubbing ish on the wall means and will let kids stay there. Yeah, no, it's my fiance's sister-in-law is a crackhead, and CPS won't give the kids back. She won't get clean. Sometimes it works. Yeah, that's V Wanker. Yeah, sometimes it works, but there's a lot of
That's
cases
how it's
where,
supposed to be.
like what TJ said, that they go after the low hanging fruit, and they don't want to deal with the bigger fish, and it's very unfortunate. Uh, I don't know how we fix that. I feel like you should prosecute some of these CPS workers. Like, hey, you knew this was going on, or like you knew the signs. I don't know how we fix that though. But so speaking of fathers, let's go into this other story. We're going to talk about this Maryland father that was deported to El Salvador amid legal dispute. Uh,
Segues on point today.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Maryland father, was deported to El Salvador due to an administrative error admitted by the Trump administration in court filing. Garcia had been granted legal protection from removal by an immigration judge in 2019. Claims that Garcia was a member of the MS-13 gang are contested, with some asserting he was only accused based on an informant's claim and had no criminal record. The Trump administration's lawyers argue that since Garcia is no longer in U.S. custody, he cannot file a habeas? What? Oh, habeas corpus petition in return. Okay, I was like, what is that word? Um, from the findings that I've seen here, what's called like Libs of TikTok. Libs of TikTok, The Atlantic. Trump deported a poor father from Maryland to El Salvador prison. Reality, he was an MS-13 gang member. You don't hate the media enough. And then she has this. Garcia was an active member of the criminal gang MS-13. This is a statement of facts. I don't know where she's pulling this from. Oh, I think this is on Politico. Or no, this looks like a court document. So there's people claiming that he actually wasn't in MS-13, and then there's court filings that say he was in fact in MS-13.
But
So
they said that it's just like an informant who said that he was.
I guess I don't know, but like, so if he was in MS-13, like, this is justified, right? Like
It's
like go
say it
like
again?
if he was an MS-13 gang member, then this was justified, right?
Right. And if he wasn't,
And if he wasn't an MS-13 gang member, then this is fucked up because they caught him on his way to go pick up his autistic son from school.
yeah. And yeah, I don't
But
know. This is going to be the point of contention for all deportations. Like everything is going to have its sob story behind it. Oh, he was going to pick up his autistic son. That's irrelevant in the fact that an MS-13 gang member was deported. Right. That's just playing the emotional kind
well,
of
Melted in the chat said he is an MS-13 gang member.
source. Trust me, bro. Like,
I trust Melted on that.
yeah, for sure. But I, but that's the argument that's being made from the other side is that he's not because it was just an informant that.
I guess that's the argument, right? But I mean, we have this statement from JD Vance. My comment is that according to the court document you apparently didn't read, he was a convicted MS-13 gang member with no legal right to be here. My further comment is that it's gross to get fired up about gang members getting deported while ignoring citizens they victimize. So that's from the vice president.
Yeah, and when they say convicted, I feel like show the court documents or something that shows.
I'm sure there is. I didn't have enough time
Which
to
was
prepare
probably
again
that
today.
thing that Libs of TikTok had posted. So,
Yeah.
as I'm saying, hey, show me the evidence.
I mean, Libs of TikTok. Libs of TikTok was posting some of this stuff. A mistaken deported notorious Salvadorian prison due to an administrative error. They're saying that it's an administrative error, but I think what they're getting confused on was that he was convicted as a gang member, but then there was he got granted legal protection for something by an immigration judge in 2019, which this is now 6 years on. Fuck that ruling. Even if, like, let's say he's not an MS-13 gang member and he got legal protection from removal by an immigration judge. Fuck it. I don't care. I literally could not care less. It's been 6 years. Go get your citizenship or, like, get out. What do you... I don't understand. I don't understand these people. You wait for years and you can go do this stuff.
What did the legal protections entail?
I don't... It just says... let's see. Garcia had been granted legal protection from removal by an immigration judge in 2019. That's all it says right here.
Yeah, I wish I had more details kind of on that, but like,
Yeah,
like if I was an illegal immigrant or whatever, and I was told, hey, you've been granted legal protections, there would be a level of understanding that okay, I'm in the clear. I'm basically a U.S. citizen at this point, and so I would feel much more relaxed, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we
At
gotta...
the same time, when they grant legal protection to everybody, like when they unconstitutionally provide legal protection to,
Well, there was so many people getting legal protection just because, like, their cases would be dropped. Like,
right,
they'd get over here, they'd be given a court date to show back up, and then
Yeah. What?
They're like, oh, drop the case, and then it's like, well, now you're in legal limbo.
Yeah. What did they call that? What was like? Because Biden did something for that.
He gave them
What
amnesty, I think.
was it? Was it just
Like
amnesty?
some sort of amnesty where like they didn't have to get deported for a while, which a
Yeah.
lot of people just came into the chat. We went from 14 to 24.
I know,
Hello,
right,
everybody.
boys.
But we got this from Sick of Shitty Government. He said, "You're too good for California, Tyler. Cool cat, that other dude. I hope you make it big and get that AC heater combo you deserve. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. AC heater combo. It's been a little bit cooler the past few days. All right. I don't have my fans going at the moment. But you know." And then Sick of Shitty Government said, "Gotta go later." Are you saying that you've got to go, or you're saying that I need to go later? I'm a little confused on that statement.
He's saying that like later you got to go to El Salvador. I think is what he's trying to say.
I Okay, that's another interpretation. And then we have this from Melted Mind. No, they're mad. He didn't get a jury of peers, even though he is illegal, so he has no rights. Just deportation. Lynch mob in the YouTube chat. Yellow lynch mob. Um, Lynch mob is my resident YouTube viewer. Always appreciate lynch mob.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean that's basically the talking point on the left right now is what Melted is saying. It's like, oh,
Right.
they didn't have a jury, they didn't have a jury of their peers, they didn't go through the legal processes. And my thoughts on that is, if you can't prove your citizenship, get the fuck out. That's what I think.
Yeah. I think this is another case for, something that, advocates for the like transparency list. Like list each of these people that are being deported and like a quick paragraph or whatever on who they are, what they've done, why they're being deported. I think that would curb all of these news stories that are going to be coming out like this because people are going to find every single one that they could possibly argue to push back against it.
Absolutely. And then okay, let's talk about some of these other stories. We got about 20 minutes left, depending on if Joey
Yeah, we
shows up.
probably got closer to 30.
I was gonna say unless Joey shows up late. Um, okay, let's talk about the Cory Booker stuff. Have you seen anything about Cory Booker?
I've not.
Dude, he's been on a rant on the Senate floor for 16 hours straight.
Is this like some filibuster stuff? Like what's
Yeah, no, he's filibustering. So here, let me pull this up. Before we talk about Cory Booker directly, let's talk about how his staffer got arrested for having a pistol on Capitol grounds.
Oh,
There's this story. This happened just before he started his filibuster. So yesterday, a staffer for U.S. Senator Cory Booker was arrested by U.S. Capitol Police for carrying a pistol on Capitol grounds without a license. Oh no! His license should be the Constitution, but whatever.
right.
The staffer, identified as Kevin Batts, is a retired Newark police officer and serves as a New Jersey-based driver for Senator Booker. The arrest occurred just before Senator Booker began a marathon speech on the Senate floor, which was still ongoing at the time of the reports. The incident is under investigation, and further details are expected to be released as the situation develops. My opinion on this is that he should be able to have the firearm, be able to own it. He doesn't need a license. As far as having it on Capitol grounds, I mean, there's a debate for that. I think you should be able to carry it wherever you want, but then you have the argument for, we don't want our politicians in danger, or we don't want people having weapons around certain, people in
Well, I
government.
mean, if our if everyone was allowed to carry a weapon into like the halls of Congress and stuff like that, like what would have happened during Trump's State of the Union or whatever we want to call it or
Yeah,
whatever.
no, I mean, people bring
Like
up stuff like that, and
one
it's like,
deranged, I feel like the deranged are so like so far off the wall that one person would sacrifice their life
well,
to
and that's the problem, right? Is the few ruin it for the many, and because of the few people that would go and commit things like that, we can't allow people to have weapons on Capitol grounds.
right.
It's unfortunate, but it's a reality that we have to deal with, because it's too easy to pull that out of your pocket and clip someone if you really want to make a statement.
I mean,
Uh,
especially when it is a room filled of some of the most important people in the world.
Yeah. And then, so Melted Mind, he said, I'm assuming this is in relation to being deported. The reason is obvious. They're illegal. That's all they need. Yeah, no, if they're illegal, get them out. It should be that simple. They don't need a trial. And then Melted said, "Damn, bro, the only person I know who can talk for 16 hours is Joey about bike lanes."
He really hates bike lanes that bad, huh?
Oh yeah. And then Lynch Mob said 16 hours. Can someone say? And then he spelled out Adderall. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
no, seriously.
is that like, look at his eyes?
Oh yeah, to hear it. Let me scroll down a little bit. There you go. There's your
Yeah.
picture.
Okay. I think Lynch
I've got
Mob
him
might
in
be
the.
onto something.
That's the picture I used for the thumbnail, by the way.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
Yep.
So yeah, no, Cory Booker's been going on for 16 hours. I don't know what they're talking about. I didn't have enough time to look into that. I was too busy pulling up all these fine stories for you fine people.
So
Um,
real quick on the whole gun thing.
yeah.
Super quick thought. One, how long has this dude? How long has this staffer been there? How many times has he went into this same area knowing that firearms were not allowed? And why would he go into this area with a firearm knowing that he wasn't permitted to have it there? Um, I, it's it's odd to me. It almost seems like he brought it for a purpose. Maybe that's a little, conspiracy
What do you
theory.
mean? The purpose is that he works in New Jersey.
Sure,
What do you mean he brought it for a purpose? That fool's probably strapped 24/7, dude.
but like you walking into, like, where was he
Maybe he
arrested?
forgot it was on him.
I mean,
I forget
potentially.
I have pocket knives on me sometimes. Then I'll walk into like I'll go to the what's it called in California. The doctors when you have something serious, they just tell you to go to the emergency room. That's where everyone in California goes. They just go to the emergency room for everything.
Gotcha.
And so when I'm having issues with my back or my I'm having like a really bad flare up from my IBS, I just go to the emergency room and what's called the more than half the time I go to the emergency room, I forget I have knives on me, so then I have to go back to the car
Fun.
because they don't allow weapons in there. But uh, I don't know. I don't know why he had the gun on him. I mean, he's in DC. He comes from New Jersey. That's reason enough. But he definitely shouldn't have it on him going into the Capitol.
Right.
Oh wait, that's a coke slash crack slash meth head look. Yeah, no, he's on something, bro. Going 16 hours. This started yesterday, by the way, TJ. He started yesterday, and he was going all the way into this morning.
And so, what is he filibustering about?
I don't
Like,
know. Senator Cory Booker began a filibuster on the Senate floor on March 31st and has been speaking for over 16 hours as of April 1st, 2025. His speech focuses on critiquing policies associated with President Trump and businessman Elon Musk, emphasizing the impact on Americans who rely on Medicaid and the broader implications for the rule of law. During his filibuster, Senator Booker has been joined by other senators, including Chris Murphy, and has attracted significant viewership online. Holy shit, Senator Cory Booker still going, asking, are we better off now than we were 71 days ago? My answer is hell no. The record filibuster length is 24 hours and 18 minutes. Go Senator Booker.
yeah,
Okay, well, Brooklyn dad, he's always a fucking idiot.
That's a
Um,
crackhead.
yeah, no, this guy's, I always see his tweets. He's the absolute dumbass. Were we better off 71 days ago? No, we're way better now. Look at all the fraud and abuse that we found. Fucking Israel Palestine is calming down a little bit. Ukraine and Russia starting to wind down finally. Like what was going on under Biden? Like Melted Mind said fucking Joey, bro. Yeah, fucking Joey, bro. He's on some Hitler cocktail shit. Yeah, no, seriously.
Seems like it.
How are you gonna rant about Hitler when you take the same cocktail he's on? Um, but what's called, and then we have this from Brian Krasenstein. Oh yeah, breaking news: Brian Krasenstein said he's quitting Twitter today, as he goes on to rant about Cory Booker.
It's an airport.
Um,
It's not an airport. You don't got to announce your departure.
yeah, no, I hate when people do that. If you're gonna leave social media, bro, just fucking leave. No one cares.
He's not leaving. He's just
He's
trying
not.
to
He just wants some attention.
publicity protests. Yeah.
Yeah, one of his deals fell through with getting bought and paid for these fucking tweets, and he's like, "Oh, I'll show them. I'll say I'm quitting."
No
and,
more USAID, so there's no more money in him posting
Right.
propaganda anymore.
Ryan Krasenstein said, breaking, Cory Booker has now held the Senate floor for over 16 hours straight and counting. Currently, 27,000 people are tuning in live via a single YouTube stream, and more than 4 million viewers have already engaged with portions of his speech. Excuse me.
Good one.
This is the kind of momentum Democrats need. People are watching to see how long he can keep going, but in the process, they're being exposed for truths. They're being exposed to truths and facts that many didn't hear from mainstream media outlets like Fox News. What narratives are we not being exposed to? People on the right, dude. What's funny about like the
It's
left when they're
also
like,
propaganda.
it's amazing when the left is like, oh, they're hearing narratives that they don't hear before, and it's like, dude, all you have to do is go on to a Timcast Discord to see that there are people of varying views on literally everything you could fucking imagine.
Right.
So like I'm a lot of people in the view in the chat right now. You've probably been to a lot of you are from the Timcast Discord. That's where I get a lot of my viewers right now. I'm sure a lot of you have been on After Dark. When we have After Dark topics come up, we let anyone and everybody come up and give their piece. How many times is there a topic where there's at least one or two people that have multiple different views on the topic? We
Right.
get different views on everything when it's people on the right. People on the right, they love have differing opinions. So it's crazy to me that the left is like, oh, here's a narrative you haven't heard before. No, motherfucker, we hear all the narratives and it's from our own side. So
And the funny thing is that, like, even if it is the far left's narrative, odds are we've probably fucking heard it, we've debunked it, and we've scrapped it as bullshit because we know that they're lying to their viewers and their constituents.
exactly, and that's why you have so many disaffected liberals or whatever you want to call it. Like Tim Pool, he's not really a conservative, but people consider him one now just because like that's what the right is now encompassing. We now encompass everybody from all sides except for this far left lunatic bullshit, which I keep reminding people. I have to remind people the pendulum will swing back. The right has the power right now. We have the truth on our side, but don't forget the conservatives were the ones that tried to ban South Park. So there's things like that. There's things like that you got to keep in mind. So the right's not always on the good side. They're on the good side right now, but keep in mind the pendulum may swing back.
How long is this clip though?
Yeah, this clip is only 30 seconds. I'll
I
play
want
this.
to hear it, and I want to like bet you $5 right now that this
Says-
is sort of
fucking
narrative that
nothing.
we have already heard before.
It's either something we've already heard before or he says a bunch of fucking nothing. Let's see. So 30-second clip. This is shared by Brian Krasenstein, so I'm expecting this to be pure gold, guys.
Under the guise of
That's
efficiency, but you're hurting our elders who deserve dignity in their retirement. It's stunning to me, Senator Warren, stunning to me that we're actually even having this discussion and having this debate when there's been not one congressional hearing about what Elon Musk is doing. The letters I read earlier about Social Security were painful because people wanted to know what was being done with their most confidential and private information. I want to continue because we under the guise.
Okay, so absolute bullshit clip. We've heard, like you called it. We've heard this before.
So the right is trying to take away Social Security from the elderly. Is
No,
that
it's-
the narrative?
The narrative right now is that the right is trying to take away Social Security. The other narrative that they're still pushing is because Elon Musk has access to Social Security, that he has access to all this sensitive information on people. And it's like, hey, are you people fucking retarded or are you fucking retarded? Because he literally created PayPal. He also now owns X. Like, if he wanted your information, he would get it. And like, what is he gonna do with it? What is he gonna do with your Social Security information? He's the richest man on the planet. What is he gonna do with that information?
Right.
So it's just stupid bullshit, like usual. And like you said, are Republicans going to take away Social Security? No one wants to take away Social Security. We want to reform it and make it better and make it how it was. Like we had that After Dark the other night. Someone was saying that Social Security used to be so good that it was actually making people money. But then once they realized it was making people money, they started taking away from the coffers because they're like, oh, just infinite money over here. And now it's broke. Now it's broke and it doesn't work because they just kept taking money from it and changing it. So it used to work. It used to be good. Now it doesn't.
Yeah. I want someone to take this whole, what's going to be a 24-hour live stream of this guy and just clip out all of the nose wipes and sniffles and like they did with Zelensky. Because
yeah,
I noticed one in there. I noticed one in the 30-second clip, and I'm sure there's a lot more sniffles.
Look, I scratch and sniffle a lot. Okay, it's just kind of what happens.
I do it from time
Uh,
to time as well, but at the
like
same
my nose is fucking itchy right now. I don't know what it is.
time,
Um,
to
but
use the whiskey.
right. Sorry guys, I just had a little. But okay, so let's get to these other stories because dude, we're already at the 5 minute mark.
We're gonna have to start
I'm
shows.
almost hoping Joey does go late. Um, but so oh, looks like I think I'm gonna be on the quiet part pod today, so that's
Hey,
pretty
let's
cool.
go. What
Hell
time is
yeah,
that?
check that out. That'll be at well depends on where you're at. That'll be 3:30 Eastern. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
wait,
very
no,
late.
3:30 Pacific, 3:30 Pacific, and then 6:30 Eastern.
Cool.
So check that out. But if you're watching me, obviously I'm going to send you over to the Joey Cannoli here soon. So check him out, and then after Joey Cannoli, he will send you over to the quiet part. So you don't even have to do anything. You just keep watching this fine stream here, you fine folk, and we'll get there eventually. So let's see. I do have. Okay, well, we have to talk about Iran because I do have it in the thumbnail. And then we'll see if we get to these other stories. I'll have these stories as backups, just in case. So let's talk about the story with Iran. So the United States has been warning, we've been attacking Yemen, and we've been saying that Yemen is being backed by Iran, right?
Sure.
Iran has come out, and Iran is now saying that they will pursue nuclear attacks if we decide to start striking them. So this is what it says from Grok. Recent statements from Iranian officials, including Ali Larijani, an advisor to Iran's supreme leader, indicate that Iran would pursue nuclear weapons if the United States were to strike its nuclear facilities. This follows public threats by U.S. President Donald Trump to bomb Iran. Russia has warned the United States of catastrophic consequences should they launch strikes on Iran. Meanwhile, the U.S. Central Command continues military operations against Houthi positions in Yemen, who are backed by Iran. I don't want to go to war with Iran. I don't want to strike Iran. I rather just play whack-a-mole with the groups they prop up. I just don't. If we go to war with Iran, that will for sure set off the next world war. I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't think that going to war with Iran is a good thing in any sort of way. I feel like it is what the military industrial complex wants.
That's what they've always wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I think they've wanted it for a very long time. So this comes down to the current political civil war that's happening right now, which is Trump and America first versus the military industrial complex and the tug of war that is going on in, you know, global diplomacy in that regard. Um, yeah. So Iran does actually have nuclear weapons.
Yes, they have a lot of nukes, and they're also allied with Russia.
Right.
And Russia has a defense pact with them. That's why we haven't struck Iran yet. Because if we were to strike Iran, that would automatically set off not war with just Iran, but it would also set off war with Russia,
So
and who knows who else? Who else would jump in on that? North Korea might jump in on that too.
Right.
Not that they're a big threat, but just saying, like, it would be world war. We go to war with Iran, we start striking Iran, that is world war confirmed. So it's just not a good idea. I rather just play whack-a-mole with these groups they prop up in places like Yemen. I rather just play whack-a-mole instead of going at them directly.
Yeah, I don't see why we have to be in such heavy conflict with these countries. Like, I like that Trump has taken a very diplomatic and like trade based approach to all global diplomacy, and it's just incredibly frustrating that he's getting like the runaround when trying, like the fact that like Ukraine is like siding with the EU and whatnot, and are actually continuing war efforts when Trump is trying to put forth this ceasefire truce. It's frustrating to watch these people fight against Trump's attempts at peace and diplomacy, and I feel like
Absolutely.
it's just included in the midst of all of that.
Yeah,
So-
no, I like I said, I don't want war. I don't want war. I want everything that does not include war. But when it comes to the groups in Yemen, the Houthi rebels, we do need to take care of them because they have been attacking boats in our shipping lanes and stuff like that. If it comes out that they are backed by Iran, I'm not looking for hot conflict. Maybe like just tariff them or like do whatever you can that doesn't involve actually militarily striking them.
Right. Sanctions. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sanction them, tariff, whatever you got to do. But definitely no war. Let's not do war, guys.
Yeah.
War is bad. I'm not for war.
And
Unless it's absolutely necessary, I'm not for war.
Yep. And the thing that I was saying about the Houthis or whatever is that it's good that there's something that they can do to stop the aggression. I think I was saying it yesterday that like if you stop, pirating, we'll stop bombing bombing whatever you guys have going on. But if you keep attacking U.S. ships, you're going to keep getting attacked. Like there's something that can happen to stop it all, and they
Absolutely
just have to play by the rules. And
yep. No, it's yeah. No, we'll see what happens with this, but looks like Joey is about to go live. I think he's live right. He is live, but his picture isn't up. I think he's trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
So we'll send everybody over there. Go wish Joey a happy birthday. Send him a happy birthday from Uwu waiting for Tyler. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, Joey's right there. Happy birthday to Joey, friend of the show. Go check him out. I don't know what other shows he's going to be on today. He might be on Quiet Part Pod, but go check him out. Go support Joey at Outworld Live. Thank you, TJ, for coming on today. Always a pleasure to have you on. Are you going to be here tomorrow as well, or are you working tomorrow?
I'm off tomorrow, so if you want to have me on, I'll be here to shoot the shit with you. So
yeah, sounds good. Always good to have someone to go back and forth with. Definitely easier to go through these stories when someone has differing opinions.
Absolutely.
So there's TJ, there's me, and I'm gonna drop TJ down. Bam. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and send all of you fine people over to Outworld Live. While it is getting ready to raid Outworld Live, please drop a like on the way out. I would greatly appreciate it. But if you don't, it's fine. Just glad to see you here. But as always, thank you guys, and cue the outro. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning into the video today. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to support me and support what I do, make sure you hit that like button, thumbs up, whatever you're watching from. If you are watching me from YouTube, go over to Rumble. If you're watching me from Rumble, go over to YouTube. Up to you. Always appreciate the extra follow. You could also follow me on X at Tyler Today News or at Tyler Rittenauer, which is my full name. Tyler Today News, YouTube, Tyler Today News, Rumble. Or if you want to go ahead and watch me over on Twitch for when I stream. I also stream at 1:30 Pacific Standard Time, but I do stream from all three platforms. I just stream on Twitch as well, just to, have my name out there on Twitch as well. But as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out.